All right, so let's take a look at the app deployment feature in BBj. So we're sitting here looking at the Enterprise Manager dashboard, and you'll notice under Web, there is an app deployment node. Underneath there, you can find various items related to app deployment. The first thing we're going to take a look at here is applications. So when we open up the applications, we see a page here with any applications that we have configured. I have one here set up, and we're going to take a look at that, and it's called the dashboard example. You'll notice here you see the name, the web app URL, and then you see under desktop app URL that it's disabled currently. Now what we can do here is we can go in and we can open this in a browser, and we can look at that application and see how it's already configured. So we copy that URL into our browser, we can run it, and then we see the application open inside the browser. So this is an entirely browser-based version of the application running. Now, we can also launch this from the BBj Jetty start page. Now you'll notice here I have this set up, and it's going to my local machine here, and this is just the welcome page. Now you have an app item here, and you can click on that, and it scrolls down and shows you a list of the web apps that are currently configured on this particular machine. From there, we could just click on that link, and it will open the browser-based version of the app in our browser for us, just like we saw there. So those are two different ways that you can get to the browser-based version of the application, right there from the Enterprise Manager as well as the BBj Jetty start page. We're going to come back to this page here in just a minute, but let's go back over to the Enterprise Manager. All right, so back over in the Enterprise Manager, we have our application. And as we said, it's configured for web access, but not desktop access. So we can double click on this and open this up and edit the application configuration. Now let's just take a quick look here at how this application is configured. It's very simple to configure a BBj application to be deployed in this manner. You give your application a name, as you see here. The path to the program file, dashboard example.src is the path. A path to your config BBX that you plan to use. You can set a working directory, choose optional class paths, and so forth. You can also pass in program arguments here. You can specify a specific load image and also a shortcut image that you would like to use as well. So let's go ahead and configure a shortcut image that we want to use. .png. And there we go. So we have that. That's the one change that I want to make. Now there are also some specific options that you can set for web app only and desktop app only if you need to make any settings that would apply to one type of app or the other. But the other thing that we're going to make a minor change here to is desktop app enabled. We want to enable that, and now we have, just with that single click, made our application accessible for quick download and installation, really without any install necessary on all the various platforms that are supported. So once we do that, let's save it. And let's take a look at the Jetty start page now. So let's flip back over there and refresh our page. You'll notice now that we have, under web apps, we have the version that will run in the browser. We also have a desktop app link available now as well. So this link can be launched from here, or it can be sent to a customer via email, or however you choose to send it to them. That link will allow them to download a simple file that they would run on their machine to install the application and run it without any complicated user interaction required. So let's take a look at how that would look. Okay, so we are going to click on the link here. You'll notice it downloaded the file. I'm going to keep it, and it downloaded this file called dashboard example.jar. Let's take a look at that file. You can see here it's a simple jar file, and all I have to do is run that on whatever platform. So I'm on a Mac here, so I'm going to use my jar launcher to run that. On a Windows machine, you would just typically double click on that file. It would launch it and run it automatically, just like any other executable, as long as Java was installed on that machine. Now we run this, I say yes. You'll notice the working while it's pulling down any of the necessary files that it needs to the machine, but it's doing all of that for us so the user doesn't have to do anything special. So the app is now installed on the user's machine. It will receive any updates, any changes that are made on the server side. So any of those changes that are made, changes to icons, changes to configuration, all of that will happen each time that the app is launched. And the app can be launched now from a simple shortcut that's added for the user automatically, just like any other app that's installed on the machine. And so when we take a look at that here on the Mac, we hit the launcher, we see our app show up here, we click on it, and it launches our BBj application as a desktop application. And we can see here we have just what we were looking at there when we looked at the web-based version, but this is now a standard desktop application that is launched and is going to be kept up to date with any of the changes that are made on the server side.